Okay, hello. Okay, I have to start. First thing, thank you that you didn't leave and you are with me. Okay, thank you very much. And my name is Jakub Dąbkowski. I am very nervous, actually, so I can make some mistakes. So I prefer to tell you this in advance. And of course, sorry for my shitty English, okay? I will do my best, actually. Okay, so I want to tell you that the title of this presentation is a Big Data Dreamer's Guide. But my goal actually is to tell you why this is actually very difficult to implement a big data, machine learning, all these sexy things that we are talking here about in real life, in companies, especially. Okay, my field of interest are B2B and B2C companies and how to implement those things in marketing and sales, so I will share my experience. Okay, wait a minute, small mistake, okay. Yeah, okay, I am CTO of Avaus, Poland, and we are just located in 3 different cities in Helsinki, Stockholm, and Gdańsk, and we are actually working with the marketing automation. And this is something that I will tell you, and this is very important if you want to have a big data processes in your companies. So as you may see, I may know a little bit how to do this, and I may have some experience how to work with those systems. Okay. Okay. And first the question is why actually we need a marketing automation plus machine learning plus big data plus AI and all these buzzwords. And actually the answer is very simple. It is because of we need a one-to-one personalization, right? And I will try to explain this idea. So we are all in marketing and sales, as you may think, it is for selling stuff, right? At the end of the day, we want to sell something. And we are selling to other people. We are not selling to machines. We are not selling to computers. So if we want to sell something, we need to build a bond and we need to actually create some feelings. That's why we need the one-to-one personalization. So it means that the message that you will get will be different than the message for other people. And imagine, if I just want to convince you to buy something, I can write an email and just send it to the whole group, one version of email. But okay, it will have some, I will be able to sell something maybe, but if I want to sell more, I should know you, and I should use this knowledge. And of course, my goal at the end of the day is to create a machine, is to create a system that can work as a sales guy, electronic sales guy. Okay, and this is really what we want to do. If we want to have an electronic version of the salesperson, we need to track people. We need to track them and actually store the information. So we should know everything about them. We should know where they are moving, at what time they're opening their emails, what channels they use for communication, where they live, and what they bought, right? So we have to store this and then process this information. So where to start? And the problem is that, of course, mostly here perhaps we are IT guys, right? So we really love technology. But if you want to apply all those technology in companies, then we cannot start from scratch. It will not work. So we cannot just go to the board and say, okay, we have this beautiful Hadoop, or we have these other systems, and we can actually, yes, have this beautiful stuff. No. We have to go through several steps. And if you are working with the marketing and sales, so actually the first step is, let's say, email marketing. It can be email marketing, it can be just SMS marketing, whatever, but you have to start from small things. You need to start build the process. And then the next step actually is a marketing automation. And top of this, On top of a marketing automation, you can actually build a big data system or start to use the information, right? It cannot be done just from scratch. If you are from a company who don't have those systems, you cannot just start from big data. And the one thing is that we need several ingredients to make it work. The first ingredient is we should know when to communicate. Remember, we want to sell something, right? So we should know the perfect moment. Then we should know where to communicate, maybe on the web page, maybe in the email, maybe in the SMS, maybe in the shop, directly in the shop. So next one is which channel to choose and what to sell or to promote. And this is a technology part. Technology can tell us how to do this. But we are all human, so we are not machines. We also have emotions. So we should understand and we should think about how to actually start some emotions. If we are just in the front of the computer, we are doing something, right? And I want you to have those emotions. So it means that I have to show you something. Yeah, it can be like a kid, happy kid, or a happy woman, happy blonde woman. It will work probably. Or show you other stuff. And then if you have those two parts, then they should work together. And this is a third very important ingredient. So I will tell you how to actually build such system and how to operate it. Okay, so think about our, let's say, favorite or the best, the coolest client that we can imagine. What is it? It's a one-man shop? Nah, not exactly. But let's say that this is one company which has multiple brands with multiple shops, like in many countries, in many time zones, like a brick and mortar shop. They should have online shops as well, and they should gather information about your every purchases. They have affiliates program, so they store information about you, about your families, about everything what you purchased, about everything what you saw, and even about your visits in shops. Because yes, it's also possible. We can just run the face recognition system and store this information in the database, and then we can use it. And of course, they should have multi-channel communication like email, SMS, phone, pushes, calls, whatever. So this is actually the coolest client. And what we are going to build at the end of the day is a system that is presented here. So as you can see, this is only from the tech perspective. So as you can see on this picture, number one, we have data from different sources. And here we had a previously presentation about how to store data, how to calculate things, how to transfer it between different systems. This is this part, actually, right? So you can have a data from POS systems, from shops, from websites, okay? Then in the middle is something that we call marketing database. But it's not only one database. We call this part as a marketing database. So we will store all information about the users. So we will store all information about you and me, of course. Then, of course, we have an e-commerce website, so we transfer information about your purchase, about your interest, about things that you saw into marketing database. And then on the top of it, we have a marketing automation system with the ability to communicate with people using emails, mobiles, web. The other part is that, of course, we want to present some results, because yeah, what is important, we are all doing this because we want to gain money. we want to sell something, so we should show our results and dashboards and business reporting, all these necessary things. So we are actually going to build this system. So okay, so because we are dealing with business, so business important is the most important, right? Because at the end of the day, business actually pays for our toys. They pay all invoices. And so they are the most important. But business, it's not the only part, it's not the only group that is involved if we want to start big data processes in our companies. Of course, without them, we will not have a link with, with reality. But then, we need content, right? I told you that we have to send something, and it should be relevant to us. So we need to store content. And if you think about it, and people do this rarely, actually, I will show you examples when we have millions of different kind of contents, and we have to manage them. We have to be able to connect them with users and just send you in the proper time. Then, of course, if we have business and content, then we have to send information, and electronic information perhaps, and so we need different channels for communication. Then we need tech, because of course without tech it will not work. That's obvious. But of course, if we have this one, so then we need the data and analytics. So they should actually watch on data. They should try to find a better way how to sell stuff, what to present, and how to do this. And then, of course, even if we have all of this, then we need a continuous optimization. Why? Because actually, when the system will start, we will get some results. But we have to improve it, because this is a business perspective, so business guys, they have some KPIs, so we should follow them. Okay, so as you may remember, my main point of this presentation is to show you that the process of creating such a system is a little bit complicated. So now you can grasp the first idea. Okay, we don't need only IT people, we need actually the whole group, a lot of groups within the company, and they should understand what you are talking about, right? So, and this is not the only thing. They should work in the proper way. They should actually try to understand what is inside, how people behave, and then they should design some actions, get some results, and turn these results into insights so they will understand more. And then you have such a cycle of working. Okay. The other thing which we don't think about is that we want to sell something, so we just cannot just send an email, just, okay, please buy. It's called spam, right? And we cannot then send another email like, oh, we beg you, please buy. So we have to go through some process with our new customers. So for every step of the process, we have different contents, we have different methods, right? We have to, let's say, start, we have a prospect, so someone who can, maybe he can buy something or not, he's quite interested in something, then we have a new customer, then we have a growing person. And then we have the best moment that person can buy, and then risk and the passive behavior. So we have to actually fit into this picture with our actions. Okay, and because of this is business perspective, we also should remember about KPIs. I know that this is a boring stuff, but anyway, at the end of the day, we should report to someone and show that, okay, what we are doing, what we are building, actually, it gives us value. Okay, so let's think about the first part, which is technology, which is actually when, where, which, and what communication, right? How to build it. Okay, let's say that we want to do this. Then the first step actually in this process is something that we call the discovery phase. So what is the goal? We should actually discover what should be done. And that's the problem, because we have different groups. We have marketing guys, we have content guys, we have sales guys, we have management, IT, analytics, and you know what? The problem is that they are using different languages. So I don't mean that they use Polish or English or Finnish language. No, it's not about this. They think in a different way. So imagine the conversation with the business guy and with the IT. It's like, oh yes, we need more income. And the IT claims like, yes, we need faster databases. and how to actually, how they can communicate. That's the problem. So you have to gather people, and we are doing this in our company. We are gathering people in the one place, and then actually they need some kind of a translator. So if you want to start such a process in your company, you should have someone who can actually talk with all groups, necessary groups, and actually translate sometimes from the IT to the business or to the content. Yeah, content guys are quite nice, really. They think that, for example, you can say, okay, but we will have this amount of channels and different versions, so you should create something. And they say, yeah, we can have AI. That's my latest case. When I say, okay, we can have AI, and AI will do everything for us. No, guys, it doesn't work like this, really. So the problem is that you also have to somehow teach them. So you need a translator. You need a group of people who will be able to work with them together. Okay, so let's imagine that you have it. Then another step is you should be able to go through the whole process from the beginning to the end. So it means that you should understand that, okay, you have a customer in a shop and the customer is buying something. Yes, so then you have the information in the POC system and it travels through all other IT systems and then it's used in blah, blah, blah. We are sending blah, 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 and in the end of the day, this person is buying another stuff, right? So you should understand everything. You should map those all processes and you should think what we can do. And that's the problem. Because at least from my perspective, your perspective can be different, but my perspective is that people, they don't understand what we are doing. So they think like AI, okay, AI can solve your every problem, really. And sometimes it's difficult to translate it that, okay, we can have a recommendation engine, so what we can do with the recommendation engine? That's the problem. Okay, but let's imagine that we were able to gather all information, how processes should be done, all parts actually agreed that, yeah, okay, we understand it. Okay, so then you have, let's say, you have a map of processes after sometimes it can take like 1 month or 2 months actually to go through the whole process, right? And of course you should have the most important people in the company. Okay, then of course there's one thing is that you need to have a project manager. Sorry for this is the standard thing, but you should have a project manager who actually understands all parts of the system and can talk with other guys and then can manage them. It's very difficult because you cannot have only just IT project manager. This person should also understand the business and sales. So it's tricky sometimes. But then if you have a project manager, you know what to do. It's just, okay, just project management, right? And yeah, it's still valid. This project management is like riding on the bike, except bike is on fire, you are on fire, everything is on fire, and you are in hell. Okay, do you know it? From your real life? Okay. Okay, let's imagine that you have this one unicorn that can be a project manager. Then you should have or understand data structure, right? And the data structure, not only how data is connected, but also how to transfer data from one system to another and how to use it. And as you may see, you may have many different systems. So this is something what IT really loves. And you can have your own data. You can have a data from your partners or third-party data from external sources. So you have to combine them. You have to know how to transfer them, when to transfer them, in what format. Then, of course, you have a DMP. Let's say this is the DMP. This is if you have users on the website, you don't know them. You know only their cookie address. Let's say so. Then you store this information in DMP. From the other part, you have a marketing database. So this is information about the users that you know. You know their email address. You know their phone numbers. You know everything about their actions. Then, of course, you have other systems. And on top of that, you have digital assets management. Why? Because at the end, you have to send them something. You have to send them content. So this is just a schema, right? This is a simplified picture. Yeah, but then think about this marketing database. Yeah, you store the information about your users, so you have to add the raw data. Then you have sometimes, you have to clean it, prepare it, and then you have a stage process, so you store the information. Then you have enrichment, and then, of course, you should export this to another systems. So the case is that someone or some group in your company should be able to do this, to understand it, and really even to translate it into business language. Because the business people, they should understand that, yes, you know, it's not instant, it's not in real time, it takes time, so it means something for them also. And yeah, this is just the simplest case, of course. Okay, so if you have a data structure, you understand it, you are able to transfer it between different systems, then you have data science. Okay, for some guys, this is the best moment, actually. But yeah, the problem is also that even if you have data scientists, they are rare, not here, but in the real life, in other companies, yes, they are rare. They should understand business also, because everything actually goes and is related to business. So they actually should be able to solve business problems. They shouldn't solve only the mathematical problems, at least some part of them, they should understand the business. And the whole process should be aligned with this. And what we can do? Okay, the simplest cases are just recommendation engine. So we can recommend product, or we can recommend content, which is proper for you, and then just store this information and send it. And if you think about the recommendation engine, it seems simple, right? Because they are already created system, and we can just implement them. And in some cases, we should really do this. Of course, I know that we are here, so we like to actually do stuff, to program things, but to program some systems. But actually, in the real life, no, it's better to use that it's already created, just start the process, and then to optimize it. And what's the problem with this recommendation engine? Of course, we can say, but quality or accuracy is a problem. But then think of this. I have a shop like Amazon. I have millions of products. I can calculate recommendation, yes, but then I want to show it in newsletter, let's say, or an email that you can receive. And in email, you will have to see product picture, price, and necessary information. And I have to store somewhere. And I have to transfer this information to the system which actually is sending emails. So this is not a trivial, really, believe me, this is not a trivial process. Another example is the churn prevention. We know that we can calculate it. And I remember one case from previous company when we created a churn model, we show our results to the board and say, yes, we can calculate the churn. So here you have a group of people that can leave you and stop paying. And they said, yeah, okay, great, but what we should now? What we do should now? What should we do now? What we should do with it? Call them? Or just send email? What to do? And this is the real problem also, because we can give business our results, but then we have to make some actions. Okay, another case is just A/B testing, and it's quite simple. We are showing different versions, and then we are watching a conversion, and we are choosing the best one. That's my favorite also part, because it's not a problem when you have a data scientist. They can come up with every solution. They can calculate it, but then we have to use it. We have to implement it on production, let's say production. And this is, of course, another part, and this is a part for IT guys. So they should be trained in those technologies. You should have them in a company or buy them. And they should actually be able to implement those models and send data to the proper system. Okay. Then we have analytics part. Okay, why? Because in many cases we are working with the e-commerce website, so we have a data about users, we have a data about their behavior, so we know exactly which page they saw. We also in some cases can know where they were previously. Yes, it can be done actually, so we can track them online. And then on the website we want to actually improve our conversion rate, or we want to learn how to convince them to buy. So we have a lot of other systems, and we should have a knowledge with other fields like SEO, UX analytics, mobile analytics, because sometimes we are also storing information about your web apps, about your movement in the city, for example, when you are. If you are, for example, near the shop, we want to know it, because then we can send you information like a web push or SMS that, okay, this is something for you. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of new other systems that can be used. And of course, it's not the end, because yes, you have MDBs, so marketing databases, CRM, you have information from CRM and you also can use them. Marketing automation, data lake, also known as data swamp, and DMP, and you need a group of people who will be able to work with those systems. Okay, but then, okay, let's imagine that we build it, right? It's done, okay, now you have to test it. How? Because remember, at the end of the day, you are sending emails, you are sending SMS, so you want to know, you want to be sure that everything works correctly. If you have a marketing automation system which has, let's say, 200 processes, right, you have to test it. And the problem is that in many cases it's impossible, because those systems, they don't have any tool for testing. So you have to be clever and you have to figure out how to do this. And for example, we created our own system for tests, and we are able to actually add data to the marketing database, then to run it, to send the information to the marketing automation system, then send email, then open the email in the Gmail, for example, check all necessary content, then click in the links, and then add data to the landing page, and then check it again. So yes, it's very boring, actually, but it has to be done, because if you are building a system for 1 or 2 or 3 months, something can happen. And without test, yes, definitely it will happen. Okay, yeah, an example of this, these are scenarios created in Cucumber. And the problem, of course, then is that someone has to do this, and in your team you should have guys from the backend developer, like a backend developer's experience. Okay, but then the system is working, then you need the monitoring. What to do? In this case, for example, we are using Logstash, Elasticsearch, and Kibana to present what is going inside the system. Because the case is that, of course, in many systems we have reports that we can read, but in real life, I know only few people who actually like reports, and they can read reports every day. In many cases, it's just the boring stuff, so they don't like to do this. So it's better to show the results in a more visual form and show what is going inside. And for example, if you have 200, like say, okay, 100 business units, so 100 different parts of the company that actually is using data, and you want to check if everything works correctly, then you can use such a monitoring, and you need it. Okay, there is only one thing that we should remember. If we want to send emails, we should have something like a warm-up campaign. If not, then actually our emails will end up in spam. And this is the whole, let's say, technical part that actually we should take care of. If we are using SMSs or other parts, no, not so much. Yeah, but of course, another case is that we need a test development, test, and production. And yeah, actually we are from the tech, we are tech people, so we know that it's normal, but it's not normal in the business world. Sometimes we have to figure out actually how to do this, because the systems for at least for marketing automation, they are not yeah, they are not created in this with this idea in mind. Okay, so if we went through the technology, from the technological point of view, now we have this emotion part. And this, as I said, this emotion is connected with a content. So, okay, let's see how to do this. And as we may see, we may have a lot of different variation of a content. At the end of the day, we need something that can help us to deal with millions of different parts of content, of different versions, right? And of course, then we need a system actually to store it. We need people who will be able to create it. And let's think about text. If we think about text, then yes, somehow solution is quite simple. We can use algorithm to create some text, and then we can store it into our communication. We also can use, let's say, recommendation engine, so it will give us some kind of a one-to-one relevance. And yeah, but as I said, it's a little bit complicated how to store all pictures, take it to the system, and then send it. So even here, we have to actually solve some problems. And of course, communication with the client is actually, it's not so simple, because client actually goes through several stages, right? So we then have a different content for different channel and for different stage. And this is here you have an example of such of different content, like it can be like landing pages or smart ads, or just simple newsletters. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, sorry. Okay. Then actually, maybe I was able to convince you that, okay, yeah. I can show an example. This is only a simple engagement process. So if you have a new customer, then you want to first send an email with the confirmation. And then this email should actually possess some information about you. And yeah, if this is possible, then we can even add some more relevant content for you. Then we are just sending another content, which is, we try to educate customers about our company, about our brand. Then we actually want to reward them, to give them some bonuses and some stuff. And then just thank you email, and we want to give you minus 25% of price. Another example is just a simple newsletter, but with targeted recommendations. So then we should actually run some recommendation engine, store information in the email, and just send it. And this is the example of the process that goes from beginning to the end. And of course, it's just such a process, but underneath it, we have a lot of those systems that we actually were talking about. We are thinking about the data, we are talking about how to transfer it, how to prepare it, calculate it. And yeah, I know that it doesn't sound sexy. At the end of the day, you are just receiving emails and SMSs, and we are trying to convince you to do something. Okay, but that's the technology is for in marketing and sales. So there is one more important part, which is, okay, the system should work. So we should actually be able to use the information about when, where, which, what. We should you should be able to actually run or just start your feelings and just connect those two things, and how to do this. Yeah, this is actually let's say the part that I love the most. It's a team. You have to create a team of people who will be able to work with that. And I don't know if you know it. I will try to play it. Whoops, wait a minute. This is about team. Okay. How to train team, actually. How to convince people to work together.
Hey guys, you've got something to tell me. Yes, well, it's like this. Look at you, my IT team. Yeah, team players, each and every one of you. Yeah, well, she has no room for people who can't act in a team on my team. Excuse me. Hello? What? Well, if you can't work as a team, you're all fired. That's it, you heard me. Fired. Get your things and go. Hello, security. Everyone on floor 4 is fired. Escort them from the premises. And do it as a team. Remember, you're a team, and if you can't act as a team, you're fired too. Dawn, get on to recruitment. Get them to look for a security team that can work as a team. They may have to escort the current security team from the building for not acting like a team. Team. Team, 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 team. I even love saying the word team. You probably think that's a picture of my family. It's the A-team. Goldie, Doyle, Tiger, the jewelry man, the whole lot of them. So what do you want to tell me?
Well, it's just not working out.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. So you should have a team of people and they should work together. If they are not working, okay, they can be fired. But, of course, this team should be cross-competence. So if you created all of this, if you prepared, if you went through the whole process, the whole project, everything is in place, data are flowing, you have a content, you have other stuff, every system is prepared, then you have a team who will be able to work with this system, who will be able to improve your actions. So you need IT guys, you need analysts, you need content, you need business, and perhaps now you understand why this is so difficult, because they should work with each other. They should not only work with each other, but also work in the agile way. Why agile? Yeah, because actually they have to gain some goals. And the problem is that it's not always clear how to do this. So they should work in the sprint. So they should actually try achieve their goals, and sometimes they will fail. So it's better, and this is difficult to actually to predict. So yeah, it's better to work in the agile process, and they also should be insight driven. So they should look at numbers and try to actually to improve their work. So we call it grow hackers, and they are very rare. And this is actually the art how to create such a team, and then this team can work together. Okay, but the funny thing is that at the end of the day, everything what we are talking about is sold as actually drag and drop tools. Even if we are talking about the machine learning, there are tools that are sold like, okay, to the customers, like, okay, you will be able to just drag and drop it. And then our business, our beloved business, then actually say, okay, so if this is such a simple, why those projects are so costly? And they can cost like millions of euros actually to create such a machine, and then to run it, and then to gain business goals. So, right? So, okay, I tried to convince you that implementation of a big data, machine learning, AI in real life, in real companies, is quite difficult. And it's not difficult because systems are complicated. No, 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 no. In many cases, this is difficult because we are working with people, we are working with business, and we have different needs, and we have to combine them. So I work as a CTO, I love technology, but my big discovery was that, okay, it's not about the technology, it's about people, actually, and how to work with them. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And I hope that I was a little bit able to convince you that it's not simple, right? Okay, thank you.